Hey, Retcon Raider here. Well, it's almost November now, so I guess we should take a moment to talk about September. Obviously, things have been pushed pretty far off schedule lately, so let's talk about that before we get into anything else. Now, first of all, let me just start by saying I don't like to make excuses, but I feel like I've been making an awful lot of them lately. I generally try to upload about 15 new videos each month, or an average of one new video every 2 days, but lately I've been falling a little short of that. So, what's going on this time? Well, the big thing is, I had a bit of a health scare back in August and September. It's nothing major, relatively speaking, but it did require some rather significant changes to my preferred lifestyle. That is to say, it's suddenly become a whole lot more important for me to eat healthier and make sure I get proper exercise. Yeah, I know, that's all stuff I probably should have been doing in the first place, but I fell into some pretty bad habits over the past few years. I was actually pretty active once, when I was in my 20s, but then I spent several years working at various comic and gaming shops, and things kind of went downhill from there. Trust me, those stereotypes about comic store employees exist for a reason. And it only got worse once I started spending 12 hours a day parked at my computer. Anyway, the short of it is that a lot of my recent health issues, the fatigue, the dizziness, the blurred vision and dehydration, well, those all made it difficult to focus on making videos. I could still muddle my way through the production process, of course, but it was a lot slower and a lot more frustrating than it really needed to be. Fortunately, I'm feeling a whole lot better these days, now that I'm actually trying to lead a healthier lifestyle. Of course, I do still have a few other issues that I need to deal with, chief among them getting some proper soundproofing and ventilation in my recording studio. I actually just ordered some equipment that I'm hoping will help in those areas, but we'll save that for the October retrospective. For now, let's stay focused on September. Now, like I said, my total video output for September ended up falling a little short of my usual goal, with only 12 new videos instead of 15. Normally, this would have caused the channel's numbers to start dipping throughout the month, but in this case, the release of Pathfinder Kingmaker ended up giving us a significant boost instead. Looking at the numbers, we gained a net total of about 1,400 subscribers throughout September, which is a roughly 60% increase from the numbers we saw back in August. Likewise, we ended up getting over 330,000 new views, which is over double what we got in the previous month. This is obviously due in large part to my videos about the Kingmaker beta, which ended up absolutely dominating most of my analytics. While I only ended up releasing 4 new videos about Kingmaker throughout September, including the first episode of my new ongoing series, a lot of viewers were going back to watch my older videos about the game as well. So, despite being one of our slowest months in terms of new video uploads, September actually ended up being one of our most successful months from a purely analytical standpoint. Now, obviously, this boost is temporary. As with all hype, it's going to die off pretty quickly, especially now that Kingmaker has actually been released. In fact, looking at our analytics for October, I can already tell you, there's a pretty significant drop-off in a lot of these numbers. Then again, based on what I've been hearing about YouTube lately, there might be some other reasons for the sudden drop in the channel's performance. But again, we'll save that for the next retrospective. That said, even with interest in Kingmaker slowly declining, it's still one of my best performing series, at the moment. My original plan for September was to alternate my schedule, with a new Kingmaker episode coming out every 4 or 5 days. Unfortunately, between the game's rough launch and that cold I had last week, it just hasn't really worked out that way. Still, I think we've made some pretty decent progress over the past few weeks. I've also done my best to continue my various other ongoing series, though I'll admit, those have been running pretty slowly lately. I used to do a lot of those series on a weekly basis, then it turned into bi-weekly, and now it's much closer to monthly, which is pretty far from ideal. I know that's been disappointing to a lot of my viewers. Heck, it's disappointing to me too. So I'm still struggling to find some sort of workable compromise. Really, that brings us to one of the most basic problems that the channel's been facing. I've obviously overextended myself. Given that I only put out about 12 to 15 new videos per month, that makes it hard enough to keep up with 2 or 3 ongoing series, let alone the 5 that I currently have running. It also doesn't leave me much time to work on some of the more labor-intensive research videos, like my Fiction of Phoenix Point series, or my series about Fallout Van Buren, both of which have fallen by the wayside in recent months. Unless I can find some way to significantly streamline my current rate of production, I might need to take a step back and reevaluate the way I'm currently doing things. I really don't want to just give up on any of my currently ongoing series, but I also want to have room in my production queue for other interesting games, especially since we've got a lot of great new strategy games coming up over the holiday season. It's something that I'm going to have to spend some time thinking about, but as always, I'd love to hear your thoughts about it as well. After all, the main reason I make these videos is for viewers like you, so I'd really love to hear your take on the whole situation. Now, I've got a couple of other video projects that I really need to go work on, so let's start winding this one down. As usual, I'd like to close things out by saying thanks. Like I said, I wouldn't still be making videos if it weren't for folks like you, so I'll keep on striving to find new ways to improve the quality and hopefully the consistency of my video uploads. It's the least I can do. I'd also like to give special thanks to my patrons, the fine folks who help support the channel financially. Not only do their donations help cover the production costs for most of my videos, but it also helps pay for a lot of the basic upgrades that I try to make on a monthly basis. Things like the new soundproofing equipment that I just recently ordered to help me capture cleaner audio, or the new exercise equipment that I bought last month to help keep me alive. So, special thanks to my honorary raiders from September: Adam Hall, Austin Fagan, Brad Quinn, Dimitri Foster, James Tremiere, Kyron Zander, Mark Richards, Midnight Sun, Pontus Lundberg, Purge, and Stepan Lovasic. And extra special thanks to my veteran raiders from September: AdriRaven, Alex Johnson, Drakiith, Drunken Gunslinger, Forbidden One, Jonathan Tanner, Laura and Mike, Mildly Nuclear, Nazzul, Sir Skelibate, Takumson, Valinrook, and Woe77. Oh, and special mention to Revenant and Rowan Church, who continue to be the only people crazy enough to support my channel at the highest tiers. I have to say, your generosity continues to amaze me on a monthly basis. As usual, if you'd like to help support the channel, then feel free to check out the links to my PayPal and Patreon in the description below. And hey, even if you can't or just don't want to support the channel in that way, know that I'm still grateful for everything else you do to help the channel grow. It may not seem like much, but all those likes, views, and subscriptions really do make a difference. Anyway, we've only got 3 more days before November, and I'd like to see if I can get at least 2 more videos uploaded before then, so I'd better get back to it. That said, this is Retcon Raider, signing off. Thanks for listening. Oh, and remember, if you need to contact me for any reason, you can do it through the comments section on any of my videos, or you can reach me through my Facebook page, my Patreon account, or my official email address. As always, links are in the description.